Hi and welcome to Craft Ventures. Today I'm going to show you how to construct a little trinket bag. This is a super easy trinket bag created with granny squares. This is my puppy square pattern that I will be working with today. You can purchase this on my website if you'd like. To begin, you will need the following. You will need 5 squares. I have 6 out, but we will only need 5 of them. You will need some yarn, and then you can choose to either sew your squares with a slip stitch with your 5mm crochet hook or with some sewing needles. To get started, I'm going to start with picking up my 5 squares. You can really do whatever you want with it. I'm going to just show you with one puppy square in this one. So I'll pick one square as my center, and that will be my bottom and my base. From there, I'm going to pick my sides. We'll just say we'll go like this, and that is essentially going to be the configuration. Let me scooch it on down just so you can see. So from here, we will actually begin to now crochet along these pieces. Just do that first, and then we will get to the next spot. So I'm gonna show you quickly how to do a slip stitch on some of these, and then also show you how to do it with a sewing needle. I apologize, I know I said we're going to slip stitch, but we're actually going to single crochet this together. So to start, you will take your yarn, make a slip knot. Now I know all of my squares have the same exact number of stitches on each side, so that makes it super easy. So essentially you're just going to single crochet these 2 together. So you're going to take both of them and smash them together like so, and you're going to begin to do your single crochet. Now doing it this way with a single crochet will allow to kind of give the bag a nice little structure to it on the outside. You'll see when we complete it at the very end. I will also show you another way to join the squares in case this is something that you don't really prefer, and if you want it to have more of like a clean, smooth edge instead. Hopefully you guys can see well. Sometimes I get in the zone and I completely forget to check. All right, so now I will just cut my yarn right here and leave the tail. So as you see, if I have it like so, that will be my outside, so it'll kind of have like a nice ridge to it. Otherwise, if you want to choose to use the other side, that's kind of how it will look from there. So that is how you can do a single crochet together. Next, I'll show you how to use a sewing needle. All right, so another method for joining these squares is with a sewing needle. I like to do a mattress stitch for this. So I will kind of just thread my needle, and honestly I will leave it attached to the entire ball. I'm not even going to cut it off. I'll cut it off at the very end. Let me just scooch in a little closer. So same concept essentially. We're going to hold the 2 pieces together and we are going to do a mattress stitch. So for a mattress stitch, you're essentially going to work in the middle like there for each one. So now I'm gonna go back into my yellow mustard and I'm gonna go right in here. And then I'm gonna go right into this one on the cream colored square and back to the mustard. So you're really just gonna keep going back and forth and back and forth. And after you have done a few, you will begin to pull it nice and tightly, just like so. So I will continue along and just going essentially right in the middle of your stitch. You can also do this with large squares as well if you want to make more of a larger bag, but like I said, this is just for my small trinket bag. And you will see in the very end what it kind of looks like. And you can kind of adjust the configuration however you'd like. Again, crochet is really nice because you can customize everything in whatever way you would like. This is a super great market item if you do markets. These sell very well, kids love them. And again, this for me is something I can quickly whip up. The only downside is there's a lot of different colored yarns that you do need to have on hand for it. So now that I've come to the end, I'm just gonna pull it nice and tight. So now we can kind of see what the difference is for these. So essentially then you'll just kind of tie this all off. But if you see when you do the mattress stitch, it's gonna be nice and flat, super flush, versus doing the single crochet. Like I said though, I like to do the single crochet because when you see it, I'll do the single crochet for this final project and you'll see it gives it nice defined edges. All right, so I'm gonna continue around with the single crochet. Like I said, that's how I like to do it. I didn't really start at the very end. I started a couple stitches in just because for my personal preference, I like it to kind of look a little nice when we transition all the way around. So I have all of my squares here. Like I said, it's gonna look like a little plus sign. I'm gonna take on my next square and we're gonna just continue with that single crochet all the way around, working the two squares together. Alright, so that's what it'll look like once you got your second one done. Now I'm going to continue around with my next one. And I will want to make sure that it is facing, the right side is going to be facing like this, if you see. So it'll have wrong sides facing together. But again, that's just because of my personal preference, because I like to have the ribbing kind of on the outside for these little bags. Oops. And you can honestly just crochet along your tails, as long as that's something that you personally are comfortable with. So again, I'm going to do my last one. All right, and so I did skip those last few on this one, so I'm just going to finish that up. Give it a nice clean finish. And I will cut my yarn. Oops. And I like to do like a little invisible seam. If you want to see a video on this, I could probably put something together later. And kind of just weave through my edges. All right. So here is my final idea. I'll zoom the camera out so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. So there, that is pretty much our little trinket bag before we sew up the edges. To complete this little trinket bag, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to now sew the sides together. Again, I'm gonna do the same single crochet, much like I did on the bottom half of this bag. So I will show you once and then I will let you work on it on your own and I'll show you my final ending. So again, we're just gonna take the 2 pieces and single crochet together all the way up. And my last one right here. I ended up going and getting my nice scissors. So there's the one side. Now if you see it it'll kind of sag down a little, but we're getting the basis of the bag. So we're going to now sew along these pieces right here, the 2 front right here, and then the front right here. So I'll meet you at the end once you have completed that. All right, so here is the final construction of the granny square trinket bag. So pretty much they all kind of came together to make like a little basket. You can easily block this, but that is pretty much what the construction will look like. It'll almost look like a little basket. Now to kind of give it a little bit of a trinket bag look, what you will do is you will actually begin to make a chain to give it like a little, a cinch to the bag. So I will do that by essentially just taking this and creating a nice long chain like so. You're going to want your chain to be as big as all 4 sides plus some. So I have created one right here. So here's my chain. And now to attach it, I will do the following. So I'm going to want my tie to be in the front. Just trying to make sure everyone can see. And I'm going to feed one end right out here. So that'll essentially be my first tie. If you want, and if you don't want to like accidentally lose that, you can always tie like a nice little knot in the front so that it gives it a little more, so there, see, it won't fall out. Now essentially all you're going to do is you're going to just kind of weave in and out every couple stitches. So as you see, I'm kind of going every 3 stitches. You can really do whatever you prefer. I'm going to pause this video so you can continue around. But yes, essentially you're going to continue to go around all the way until you get to the beginning. I'll pause it and I'll meet you at the end. All right, so now that I have created my cinch, essentially what you can do is now you can close that up nice and tight. And there you have like a nice little trinket bag. You could even add a nice little strap to this, just doing a chain or maybe a single crochet strap. But that's pretty much it. And then the bag easily opens up just by loosening it like so. You can always tie this to however you want in the front. I hope you enjoyed making my granny square trinket bag. If you are interested in purchasing my puppy pattern, that is available on my website. Thank you. Don't forget to stay crafty and stay adventurous.